annual Iftar. We are so proud to be hosting the 3rd annual Iftar. As a personal point of privilege, this was the first thing I recommended when I joined Commissioner Briones over 2 years ago, that we should host an Iftar, and we've been doing it ever since. We're really happy to have everyone that is here today. And on behalf of Commissioner Briones and everyone on her staff, I want to pass along sincere appreciation that you have chosen to celebrate this opening of your fast with us today. And we're just really honored to have you here. And at this time, I would like to, I want to see if there's any elected officials. They're not here yet, so we will acknowledge them when they do arrive. But I also want to thank our chefs this evening, Mezban Restaurant and caterers, and a special shout out also in order for the Islamic Art Society, who have provided today's henna artist, Arabic calligraphy, and art displays, and water painting that they're doing out there. So if you get a chance, please go look at it. Thank you so much for the community effort to make our Iftar so special. At this time, I would like to welcome to stage one of our panelists, but she's going to do the opening prayer, Bibi Khan. She will lead us in what is known as a surah, but I also would like to invite with her Hafiz Wasiullah Afzal. A Hafiz, and he's 14 years old. When he was 10 years old, he memorized the entire Holy Quran. Steps right there, right there. So it's pretty amazing that we have such an, he is also a refugee, and I'm so proud to have both of you here today. Welcome, and it's all yours.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب صدق الله العظيم.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. So the Hafiz has been here for 1 year in Houston, and as Rufi said, he has become a Hafiz at the age of 10, mashallah. So I'll just do the translation. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, have we not uplifted your heart for you, O Prophet, and removed from you your burden, which weighed so heavily on your back, and raised you to high fame? So surely with hardship comes ease. Surely with hardship comes ease. So once you have fulfilled your duty, strive in the devotion, turning to your Lord alone and hope. This surah is a source of comfort, encouragement, and hope. It reassures us the divine support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that He will provide ease with our hardships. This chapter also reminds us to remain steadfast in faith, trust in Allah's plan, and seek solace through prayer and devotion. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Bibi, and thank you to the Hafiz. Thank you for showing grace. And, this is just such a special occasion for all Muslims, and I just love the fact that we are able to celebrate. At this time, I would like to introduce our moderator, that is Mehtab Muradi. She's been in clinical practice for over 19 years, but currently she works with, she is the Behavioral Health Program Manager at Ibn Sina and the Managing Partner and Director for Behavioral Science at Formula Med, and of course, a great friend of Precinct 4. Please help me welcome Mehtab Muradi.
Thank you so much. Wow, what a beautiful space, and so many friends and special community leaders. Thank you, Commissioner Briones, for making this happen. It shows who you are as a leader. Our clinic is a big fan of yours because of the populations we serve, and just appreciate how beautifully you carry yourself in your faith and respect others. I'd like to kind of share a few words about what Iftar means to me. I got emotional seeing the 10-year-old because it was around that part of my life where I myself had fled my country, and so I can really relate to a lot of the inner child that heals, and I became a counselor as a result. So I like to read a little something about kind of my upbringing and the people who influenced me in kind of getting me acquainted to faith. And I look at faith as a very important part of mental health. I feel like it's one of the dimensions that we often turn to when we're really in big trouble. So it needs to be cultivated. Much of what I know about faith comes from the teaching of my maternal grandmother. She was born Fatima Khalili Pir. To me, she was Madarjun. To her, the rest of her village, she was called Hajj Khanum, which is when you go to do the pilgrimage, you earn the title Hajj, so everybody referred to her as that name. In my eyes, she was the epitome of a matriarch and earned the respect of so many people in her 78 years of life. She was a mother to 8 children, 6 of which were boys, 2 were daughters. Her oldest daughter happens to be my mother and one of the favorites in the family. For her, faith was a grounding space, the piece of serenity, and a time for her to reflect. As you can imagine, having that many children, you really need that kind of space. She was the first one to wake up every morning and start up her samovar, which is the big apparatus that keeps the water hot all day long for chai to happen. Her house was a central place in the village where everybody came. She never even locked the front door. She was the first one to hear the roosters in the back. And we had a pet goat. His name was Bozi. And that was also a very central part of my childhood. My grandparents' village was called Sarvadar. The village name came from the local tree, Sarv. And the mosque was just a few steps away. And so I remember around lunchtime hearing azan and the call to prayer. It was a very special time in my childhood. Unlike some community, the prayer hall, the downstairs, my grandfather, who was the lead of the village, turned it into a rec center so kids can come play. And to this day, years after they are gone, it's a gym for that village. My grandfather, being the head of his village, helped create a sense of community, so using faith as a means to connect people instead of dividing them. He was so open and relaxed with the way he carried his faith that our village gained the nickname of Little Paris. My grandparents became a beacon of hope, a living example of lasting love, and a place where many felt was their second home. Their home was often a place where people met for tea and talks. That might explain my obsession with chai these days. My grandparents would have people come look for advice. Maybe there was a marriage that was in trouble. There's only like 26 families in the entire village. And I remember my grandfather playing with his tasbih as he was trying to like keep his cool and give good advice. And you could tell my grandmother would kind of bring on the chai in those awkward moments. And that's, I have to say, it's a safe thing to say that that shaped who I am today, that I still serve my patients. I ask them if they want tea, if they want chocolate. So a lot of that carried over. More importantly, I think faith represents a space where we form an identity, especially around empathy and kindness and how we connect to others. There are 5 points that I think I took away in the way that I observed them practice their Shia Muslim. One is that you never take more than what you need. I never knew my grandparents had much. They were so modest in the way they carried themselves. And they made sure that everyone around had enough. Number 2, the hardest and most important act is being kind when you don't see kindness from others. And in their definition, that was fostering character. Number 3, if you experience a blessing, be generous. Being generous never made anyone poor. Number 4, this was my favorite. My grandmother would always repeat to us, if you had to wish for beauty, wealth, and wisdom, always opt for wisdom, because the other things you can eventually get caught up with. And number 5, as you can imagine, with having 6 boys, it was quite a ruckus in their house. Your tongue has 7 breaks, use them. This was my grandmother's version of holding our tongue when we're upset and using kind words. We live in a world where faith is often misunderstood and misinterpreted and misrepresented. In its best form, faith can be a place of emotional safety, a sense of true belonging, and a place to build beautiful communities. I am grateful to share this space with you all. I'm so grateful to our commissioner for being a living example of one who is grounded in their faith, yet respects all faiths. She's always the first one to wish Happy Hanukkah, Ramadan Mubarak, and I think that's such a beautiful characteristic about you. Thank you for helping Houstonians bring a sense of community. I love your listening tours. I can't make all of them, but I keep up with you. I'm excited to start a new conversation about what faith means to all of us with our esteemed panelists. Before we get started, I would like to welcome to the stage Orhan Osman. There you go. For a few remarks. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Ramadan Mubarak to all of you. My name is Orhan Osman, and I have the great honor of serving as the President and CEO of the American Turkic Business Council. On behalf of the American Turkic Business Council and our Turkish American Community Center, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each and every one of you for being here tonight. Your presence makes this evening even more special. We are delighted to co-host this Iftar dinner in collaboration with Precinct 4 Commissioner Lesley Briones. This is our 2nd year of coming together for this meaningful occasion, and we look forward to continuing this tradition for many years to come. We are incredibly grateful for the opportunity to organize this event together, and I want to personally thank Commissioner Briones and her dedicated team for their support and partnership in making tonight possible. This year marks as a significant milestone for the American Turkic Business Council as we proudly celebrate our 20th year of service. Over the past 2 decades, we have been committed to supporting businesses, fostering economic growth, and strengthening community ties. To achieve this, we actively serve our members through 5 key committees: real estate and construction, e-commerce, professionals, new business development, last but not least, ATBC Academy, providing mentorship and education for aspiring entrepreneurs. Just this year, we successfully hosted our 6th annual Real Estate and Construction Summit with nearly 400 attendees. We were proud to announce that the Houston Association of Realtors, as known HAR.com, joined us as our main sponsor, and the Greater Houston Builders Association became a partner organization. These collaborations demonstrate our growing impact and commitment to the business community. Beyond businesses, our commitment extends to public service and civic engagement. On March 20th of this month, ATBC, along with Bangladesh American Business Association, will host our 4th annual Public Service Appreciation Iftar dinner. This year, we will have the privilege of honoring Houston Police Chief Noni Diaz and Houston Fire Chief Thomas Munoz for their outstanding service to our city of Houston. Additionally, to support democracy and civic participation, we have proudly dedicated this community center as one of the Harris County voting centers for the past 3 years. And nearly 100,000 Harris County residents have cast their votes right here. This is our way of ensuring that our community remains engaged and empowered. At the core of everything we do, our mission is simple: to serve, support, and uplift the community. Whether it is through business growth, civic engagement, or social initiatives, we strive to make a positive impact, not just for our own members, but for all communities in Houston. And tonight, this Iftar dinner is yet another opportunity to come together, strengthen our bonds, and celebrate the values of compassion, generosity, and unity that Ramadan teaches us. I would like to once again express my sincere appreciation to Commissioner Lesley Briones, Harris County Precinct 4, and all our distinguished guests for joining us this evening. Ramadan Mubarak to all those observing, and may this evening be filled with joy, blessings, and meaningful connections. Thank you.
I move much faster in my tennis shoes. Okay, thank you once again, Orhan Osman from the American Turkish Business Council, and to everyone who's worked so hard to make tonight's celebration possible. On that note, it is my pleasure to be able to introduce to you your Commissioner for Harris County Precinct 4, Lesley Briones. Lesley Briones is a native Texan and a proud Latina who grew up on the U.S.-Mexico border. She's the daughter of teachers who taught her the importance of education, hard work, and serving others, values that have defined her, which she now brings to her office. Please welcome her to the stage.
So, a slight change in plans. We're still waiting on a bunch of people, so we're going to go ahead and start with our panel discussion, and Commissioner will come up right after that and give her remarks.
Okay. You can thank Houston traffic for that. Okay. At this time, I would like to welcome the panelists to the stage. Okay. Our amazing panelists, our first one is the Director of Amana Refugee Services, Mr. Ahmed Al-Aswad. Ahmed has over a decade of experience in public administration, nonprofit leadership, and advocacy. He served as policy director for 2 Houston City Council members, focusing on key issues like public safety, housing, and transition. And his passion for social justice and equity drives him in his leadership with Amana. Welcome. It's not assigned seating, so you're the first one. Our next panelist is the Adjunct Professor of Religious Studies for the University of Houston, Dr. Muhammad Haq. Dr. Haq is a published scholar with a PhD from the University of Punjab in Pakistan, and his work and research has focused on Islamic studies, Christian-Muslim relations, and religious history. His published public works include The Doctrine of Atonement and Crucifixion and Comparative Study of Islam and Christianity, and his wisdom and expertise is an essential presence at tonight's Iftar. Welcome. We now welcome back to the stage the president and founder of Anissa Hope Center, Bibi Khan. Bibi? I know. She gets claps before she even makes it up there. I love it. Bibi has advocated for women and families in crisis for over 20 years. Her work with Anissa and collaborations with all nonprofits have done invaluable work to raise awareness about domestic violence within our communities. Anissa launched back in 2009 and has evolved from a shelter to a multi-service organization that serves as resources to clients they seek, and they treat them like family. That's very true. I spent the whole day there, and I didn't want to leave. Welcome. Okay, and finally, let's welcome the President and CEO of Shifa Healthcare and Community Services, Angie Sheikh. Angie joined Shifa after retiring from a 50-plus year career in the oil and gas industry, managing multi-billion-dollar projects. She brings that seasoned professionalism to Shifa and multifaceted organizations that strives to elevate the quality of life for immigrants, the uninsured and the underserved individuals from all walks of life. They do this through increasing access to quality health care, social support services, and safe spaces for victims of abuse, all endeavors to which Angie brings her project manager expertise and dedication to excellence. Welcome. Okay, and you happen to be the first one who gets a question.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I think it's just, I guess you were ready for it, right? As a leader of a nonprofit focused on these communities, how does the spirit of Ramadan shape your organization's mission and daily operations this month?
Okay. Well, thank you for the question, and it's a pleasure to be here. What the spirit of Ramadan is deeply aligned with the Shifa, as far as we think, because Shifa, or Ramadan, emphasizes things like compassion, charity, healing, and social justice. And those are the things that are main focus of Shifa also, as many of you know, and you mentioned earlier, that Shifa runs a women's shelter for victims of domestic violence, and we also provide health care to underprivileged communities. So along those lines, when we talk about compassion and mercy, what Islam says is encourages kindness and care for people that are less fortunate, and also mercy for those that are in need. And along those lines, what we are trying to do is we provide shelter, meals, counseling services, and other support services to women and children who are victims of domestic violence. And that is all free, and it's 24/7 support for them, which is very much aligned with what Ramadan and Islam says. And similarly, as many of you know, that healthcare is so difficult and expensive these days, and not everyone can afford it. There's a lot of people who do not have insurance, cannot afford health care, so our healthcare clinics provide these underprivileged people with primary care and support. And even if you had money, and my experience is getting appointments with doctors is not easy. It's months out, And in our clinics, people can just walk in and get that primary care. So that's one thing, a compassion and mercy that's related to Ramadan. The other thing that Ramadan focuses most is healing. And when we talk about healing, it's not just spiritual healing, we're talking about emotional and physical healing also. And emotional healing is very, very important for our clients that are in the shelter. They go through a journey of healing and repairing their life so they can move on. We have caseworkers that work with them on those, the path for healing. And one of the things that we have to remember is that people who are victims of emotional or abuse or violence, they carry some kind of shame and guilt with them, even though it's not their fault. So you have to work hard with them to come up with them where they can get self-empowerment and they can be proud of their existence, and they can go through life and repair their life and then move on to other things.
Thank you.
So that is important. The other thing is breaking cycle. One thing that Islam and Ramadan does is change harmful habits, come up with new options of moving on, fostering positive change. And we work on with these people to break the cycle of abuse. That is very, very important because they get into that routine, so that's important. And of course, in this process of healing, what we would like to do is, just like fasting develops self-discipline and preventive care, we try to teach that to our clients, where not only do they learn about self-protection, but also how to recognize signs of abuse and so forth. And same thing with the clinics, we teach them nutrition, hygiene, and disease prevention. And of course, social justice and equity is very important, so our services are available to everyone in the community. We do not turn over anyone because of their ethnicity or their religious preference. Everyone who is in need comes to us. And I'm getting this thing about 30 seconds, so I'll close with that, the point that Ramadan is for renewal and second chance. And what we are providing to the underprivileged communities, we are offering hope and healing, enable them to get strength to start a new life, work towards a better future, and live a healthy life and future.
Thank you. I love that. That's nonprofit leadership for you, when people are passionate about what they do. So the next question, Ahmed, is for you. Can you share a personal story or moment during Ramadan that deepened your commitment to service?
Well, thank you so much. And before I answer the question, Commissioner, thank you so much for having us here. I was there at the first Iftar and the second, and it really means a lot to me and my community that you're here representing us. So thank you so much. When I was a kid, at 7 years old, 8 years old, I woke up early in the morning, and my mom was like, "All right, it's time for you to start fasting." And I remember in the morning, I'm like, why do I have to fast? And I think we all heard this one way or another, is so we can feel what those who felt less fortunate feel. But obviously as I grew up, I knew the main reasons of fasting, but that really stuck with me. And as I went to high school and college, service has been such an important part of my life, my family, and we had an opportunity to gather in-kind items, food, oil, rice, you name it. And we actually started distributing it to different parts of the Houston area, mostly in Precinct 4. And it's amazing how when you have that moment, that human-to-human moment, where you're asking them not what your name is, but more of who are you? Like, tell me your story. And that, from a face of despair, becomes a face of joy, because they want to tell people their story. And so we've met with folks who are from Iraq, from Syria, from Afghanistan, from East Africa, you name it. And they all start sharing their stories of what were they doing beforehand, and what are they hoping to do here in their new country. As the executive director of Amana Services, those are the stories that we always interact with all the time, where individuals who gave their life to translate for our US military back in Afghanistan, and with the withdrawal of the American troops, really created that void, and a lot of the SIVs, special immigrant visa recipients, started becoming a hit. And they had to flee, and they came here to America to seek a better life. And when you're asking these, the questions is, what were you doing back home? Engineers, doctors, and they dedicated their service to not only the US military, but also the people abroad. And they want to give that service back. So I feel, in regards to the service, is that Ramadan is a month of giving, and it's and not expecting anything back. And the beauty about Houston being so diverse is that we can interact with different communities. And then, when I go to iftars, an Arab iftar has a different customs than a Desi custom, or even an East African or West African customs. And that's the beauty of Houston, and everyone has that universal language of just giving and not expecting anything in return. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Our next question goes to Bibi. How do you ensure that your service efforts are inclusive and cater to the needs of the broader community and not just the Muslim community?
Okay, so I saw what you did there. All the mushy questions went to them, and bam, I get the hard question. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to take a few seconds away from my answer to thank Commissioner Briones and your entire team for this event. You are truly an inspiration to all of us. And whenever I lose hope about the elected officials all over, I always remember you, and I know then we still have hope. So thank you for all you do for the victims of domestic violence and for all the needy in our community. Thank you so much. So this question is an interesting question, especially since ANISA was created to help Muslim women at that time, because it was such a taboo topic, domestic violence. Originally, it was created to help Muslim women, and as we expanded and we grew, we realized that this domestic violence, mental health, financial struggles, it's the same across the board for everyone. What Muslims feel in domestic violence is exactly the same thing that non-Muslims feel. So there's no difference at all about those topics. It's very important to remember that we have to provide help for anyone who needs it, but in our community, there is not a lot of help for the Muslims, especially when it comes to domestic violence and mental health. So now with Ibn Sina having mental health and us, it's become a lot easier for people to come out and get the help. We have a lot of challenges, of course. Our staff definitely are amazing because they speak all of the languages that we need. We have English, Spanish, Arabic, Urdu, whatever language that clients may need. And they also do extensive cultural sensitivity training, which is very, very important in our work. Our advocacy team, our education team are out on the field always presenting about important topics that are affecting all communities, not only the Muslim communities. Our advocacy team just got a bill passed that we can do judges training on domestic violence, which you'll be surprised to know that not many of them had to do domestic violence training. So ANISA also partners with law enforcement, other organizations to make sure we are in the loop as they are. So there's nothing that we miss. A great example, though, of our community work, which links us to the entire bigger community, and I'll take you back to Harvey. So everyone remember when Harvey happened, everybody was at home. There were only a few boats out there rescuing people who were stuck on rooftops. ANISA was in the forefront of that. We immediately created a call center, and we were immediately able to connect to many people who had boats, who were actually listening to us where to go and rescue those people. Another thing is our trucks from Muslim organizations in Dallas and Florida had trucks ready with supplies. So as soon as the roads clear, we were the first people to get supplies. Well, what did we do? We made sure churches got supplies, the mosque got supplies, community center got supplies, everybody who needed, because there were elderlies in the crowd that had nobody to take care of them. When COVID came along, the same thing. When the winter freeze happened, the same thing. The only way we are going to grow as a community is growing together. Muslims, non-Muslims, everyone. The days of where we segregate ourselves is gone, and I think together we're going to do a lot of good things in our community. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. I was going to see if I can replace his question with the Mushi one, but I don't think I can get away with that. Dr. Haq, this question goes to you. Ramadan is a time of reflection and service. How do you see service during this holy month as a way to bridge communities across different faiths?
Well, thank you, and thank you, Commissioner, and all the organizers for this beautiful Iftar program. When it comes to the Ramadan fasting and the connection between different communities of faith, not only Ramadan, but all the tenets of Islam are basically connecting all the humanity together. And that's what one of the objectives of the religion of Islam is, to bring peace, which is the meaning of the word Islam, in all the different communities. One thing which is very common and which is developed during the fasting, during the days of Ramadan, Muslims are supposed to fast, which means no food, no drink, from morning till evening, and it takes about 15 hours, around about that. So, you know what is the connection in that with the rest of the humanity? The connection is that how a human being feels when he or she is hungry and thirsty. Hunger and thirst have no religion, have no ethnicity. Everybody can feel it. And those of us that we are blessed, we seldom don't realize and don't get those feelings that how a homeless, a hungry person feels when he or she is not getting food. And that's what the spirit of Ramadan is, that you share those feelings with them. And that is a big connection of the fasting with the rest of the humanity. As far as there are two things over here. One is the month of Ramadan, and the second is the fasting in the month of Ramadan. Month of Ramadan is considered in Islam as the month of divine scriptures. Basically, it's a celebration of divine scriptures. So Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reported, and his saying has been reported in many books of hadith, in Musnad Ahmad and Tabrani and Mu'jam al-Kabir and many other books, that he said that all the divine scriptures were revealed in the month of Ramadan. So the scrolls on Prophet Ibrahim was revealed on the first day of the month of Ramadan. Torah was revealed on Moses on the 7th day of Ramadan. And the gospel was revealed to Jesus on the 13th day of Ramadan. And the Zabur, or the book of Sam, that was revealed to David, that was the 18th day of Ramadan. And the Quran was revealed on the 24th day of Ramadan. Well, that is what connects the month of Ramadan across all the religions, Moses, whether it is Judaism or Christianity, their divine scriptures, and they are all connected with the month of Ramadan, and that's what the spirit that we all should feel, that we all together in this holy month, which is not only for Islam, but it has always been there like that. The second thing is the fasting. Fasting is not only something new in the religion of Islam, but it shares also with all the other religions. Even if we look at the scriptures, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 9, verse 18 says that Moses fasted for 40 days in the desert. The Gospel of Luke, chapter 4 says that Jesus fasted for 40 days, and actually that fasting has started yesterday because yesterday was the Ash Wednesday, and many Christians started their Lent fasting, which is coinciding with the month of Ramadan, and that is another connection that we have while we are fasting with the other communities. Besides that, Yom Kippur for Jews, Good Friday for Christians, and many other events are fasting together, this fasting helps not only in Islam, Muslims, but every religion to develop and elevate their spirituality, to get connected with God, to develop the angelic characteristics in a human being, because angels are the one, they are always fasting. They don't eat or drink. So we develop and kind of resemble to develop the angelic characteristics. And that's what I believe is the connection that we have over here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, our next question goes to Ahmed. Can you speak to the role of partnerships, such as those with local governments or other faith-based organizations, in amplifying the impact of your organization?
Yeah, so Amana Services, we again serve refugees and immigrants that come to America, specifically in the Houston area, for a better life. And what better way to collaborate with local governments is teaching them this is now their new country. You are part of this country. You need to start participating in this case. So Amana is starting to do a civic engagement and civic education part for our thousands of clients. Because as an immigrant, as a child of an immigrant, I was always taught, oh, you're back home is Syria, back home is Syria, back in Syria. But the reality is this is our home. And we need to make sure that they have the equal voice to shape the direction of the America of the future. And what better way to have a compassionate individuals like refugees and immigrants to shape America's direction. And we need that more than ever nowadays. And also with the faith-based groups. So a lot of people think that refugees are only Muslims because that's where all the problems are happening. But the reality is that there are a lot of Christian refugees. There are also people that don't have any faiths. And that's a way for us to come together and work for the common good. And then also in regards to collaboration, right now nonprofits are being targeted in the federal government, and the reality is, and also in the state government. And that's why we need to depend on the local government to really help us and stretch that dollar, whether it's collaboration with Ibn Sina, with also in the SAT and other organizations. That is something that we need to do for us here at Amana, and also the collaborations with other organizations to come.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. So we're going to be really good about keeping our time. I know we've heard so many good things about everyone, and I wish we could be here longer, but because of the time specificity of Iftar, we need to go over one more question. So that goes to Angie. What are the unique initiatives that your organization undertakes to address the challenges that Shifa faces in providing safe spaces for victims of domestic violence?
Okay. Safety is very, very important when it comes to victims of domestic violence, because you don't want their abusers to track and contact them. This is just critical. So first of all, the shelter location is not publicized. You will not see any signs on the shelter that it's a shelter. And also we ask all our residents to keep the address confidential. We have 24/7 security surveillance. We have cameras around the perimeter and all access points, also in the resident homes, that are monitored by the staff as well as the security company. Our driveway has a code to enter into there. No one can enter without the code. And all entries to the building and the resident rooms have key codes, so key cards, so they can't enter if they're not authorized. And also we keep a log of everyone who comes in and out of the building, so we keep track of everyone. Any servicemen or repairmen that come, they're escorted by our staff. And to the extent that because women have children with them and children like to play, so we have an indoor playground which is enclosed so they can have their fun without being exposed going outside. And the other thing that is very important that we do is when we screen our people and we interview them on the hotline when the calls come in that they are accepted in the shelter, we are fortunate that we have a few hundred feet from us a police station. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we ask the clients either to come or we would provide them transportation, and we meet them at the police station, not at the shelter. That way we never give out the address of the shelter. Our staff will go and meet with them at the police station, verify all the credentials, and then bring them over and attend to their needs. So that's how we make sure that no one knows where the shelter is. We tell our clients not to, if they need to take a ride to some place for looking for work or housing, they're not supposed to get that ride to the shelter. It's always at the police station. So they walk 100 feet or so to the police station. That's where they drop them off. We ask them to turn off all tracking from their phone so no one can track them where they are. Similarly, if they have to get packages or mail, it goes to our staff. We do not give out any addresses and so forth. And we have panic buttons in every room, so in case of emergency, they can push the button. We do not allow any photos of our residents to be online. If we have to put some pictures, we blur out the faces. And we also take care of, in terms of safety and confidentiality, our caseworkers work in private with the client. We have special rooms for that. All the data is kept in locked cabinets. And we conduct training on self-protection for all our residents so they know how to handle that. And I think those are the basic things that we do to ensure the safety. And having a police station so close by makes a big difference, because that's where we go in and get all our clients. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You guys have thought of everything. Okay, let's give one more round of applause to our panelists for sharing their organization's missions. Okay, at this time, I would like for you guys to join everyone else at the table. Oh, someone needs to take their medicine. Thank you so much. Oh, okay. Okay. Let me get my eyes back on. At this time, I would like to welcome Chad Khan to the stage to deliver our closing remarks. Is he? And then thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak. So, Commissioner Briones, I really appreciate that what you are doing for our Muslim community. Behalf of our Muslim community, Champion Masjid, where we met first time with our civic engagement group where I chair. We invite a lot of elected officials or people that are running for the elections or they're, so come over and meet our members. So that's how I met Commissioner Briones first, Ms. Briones. On behalf of our Muslim community, I'd like to thank you what you are keeping the tradition. And I hope Precinct 4 will continue this tradition and we can come every year and breaking fast with Commissioner. Commissioner, I really appreciate that. And if anything else I can do to continue this event, I'm always available. I don't want to take a long time to speak, but I know that we are very tight of time and Rufi already warned me that don't speak too much. So Rufi and me, we go a long way. So I believe 2006 or 2003, Rufi, where she was a big shot in Chamber of Commerce. And she's the one actually asked me to, hey, Ms. Briones running for judge, can you give him some time? I said, no, please bring him, Rufi. So Ms. Briones, that's how I met her first time. I really appreciate that. I love your beautiful family and your husband, and thank you. And thank you very much for inviting me.
Good evening once more, and we apologize for having to make so many changes and switches this evening, but as I think everyone realizes that is here, that we are on a deadline for when we have to do a hard stop so people can go pray, open their fast. And so with that, and because we are Middle Easterners, South Asians, we have our own time schedule that we follow. So when we say be here at 5, that means you'll be here by 6. So here we are. So, but with that, I have the absolute honor to be able to introduce my commissioner, Commissioner Lesley Briones. She is just, it's really hard for me to explain. So I never thought I was going to be working because I was already retired. And she just asked me, hey, you want to maybe come help? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come help for a little bit. But you know what? It's in my blood, and it's because of her, because she's so amazing, and it's like, I want to be part of this very amazing team. I just feel so proud to wear this badge, and when people say, oh, you work for Commissioner Briones, I'm like, yes, I do. And so I just want to thank you, Commissioner, for giving me this opportunity and for being able to get all of you here. And I'm honored. Thank you, Commissioner.
Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. Thank you for being here. It fills my heart deeply. First, I want to thank Rufina Tarajan, our Director of Special Events. Can we give her and all of the Precinct 4 team a round of applause? And the truth is, I work for Rufi. We all work for Rufi. And if anyone knows Rufi, we know that's true. But truly, Rufi, I love you, my family loves you, the team loves you, and we're honored to learn from you and work alongside you and the team. Can we please give another huge round of applause to our hosts? Emre Erkak, Chairman of the American Turkish Business Council. Could you please stand again so we can thank you? Mr. Erkak, this is such a beautiful place. Every time I walk in here, it's a beautiful place, a sacred place. It feels like home, and I love the Raindrop Turkish House. So thank you for your leadership and everything the American Turkish Business Council does for the region. Thank you so much. And can we also please give it up for our amazing panel, our moderator, Mutab Mortadi, the Behavioral Health Program Manager for Ibsina. Can we please give it up for her? Can we please thank Bibi Khan, the president and founder of the Anissa Hope Center. Thank you. And thank you for your words. You give me hope. So thank you, Bibi. Can we please give it up for Mr. Ahmad Al-Wasad, Director of the Amana Refugee Services. Thank you for your leadership. Dr. Mohammed Haq, a professor at University of Houston. Thank you for your wisdom, Dr. Haq. And Anchi Sheikh, President and CEO of Shifa Healthcare and Community Services. Thank you to our panelists. I would also like to thank all of the elected officials who have joined us today. Could you please stand up so I can thank each and every one of you? Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have so many, and could you just keep standing, please, for 1 second? We have please stand again. We have my commissioner neighbor partner. We have Fort Bend Commissioner Dexter McCoy. Thank you, Commissioner McCoy. We have my sister, Judge Manpreet Singh of Harris County Civil Court at Law Number 4. Thank you. We have Dr. Carla Wyatt, our Harris County Treasurer. We have sorry, I'm trying to read. I think I'm getting to that age. We have our Executive Director, Alnor Zahor Giri. Here. We have Judge Christian Becerra, who is here. Thank you, Judge. Judge Chad Bridges, who is here as well. Sorry, there's so many. I can read all of them. Judge Collier is supposed to come, Judge Nelson, Representative Jean Wu, Judge Kovac, State Representative Simmons, Dr. Wyatt, and the Honorable Brittany Morris is supposed to join us as well, and our one and only trustee. Can you please give a round of applause as well? Sorry, thank you very, very much. And is there anyone else who is here? I appreciate all of the elected and appointed officials who have joined us today. I also want to thank my family. I love you more than I can ever express. My husband, Adam Briones, my mother-in-law, Emma Briones, and our 3 amazing daughters, Valentina, Catalina, and Ana Lucia. So thank you so much for being here. Faith and family are everything to me, and all the words that have been shared this evening resonate deeply, because I believe all of our families' futures are deeply intertwined. And so today, thank you for spending your evening. Thank you for breaking your fast with my team and I at our 3rd annual Iftar. And rest assured, we will continue this tradition as long as the people give us the opportunity to serve. This is deeply important to me, and again, I thank my team for helping to make this possible. We are very proud to serve in Harris County. We are very proud that in our precinct, we have over 15 mosques and Islamic schools in our region. There's so many partnerships that we have developed the first 2 years in office. I'm going to go through just some of them, not all, but some. First of all, Ahmad, Anisa, Bibi, we have partnered on so many items, ranging from laptop distributions to the services with domestic violence to so many. What you all do on the front lines, I have deep, deep respect. We have as well with Daya, Houston, Anisa, again, just all the work we're doing on domestic violence. Harris County is proud that we've invested over $20 million working on domestic violence here in this region. Ibsina, Matab, thank you again for all your partnerships on vaccinations, mental health services, and I want to acknowledge Chairman Rupani for his leadership and generosity. Thank you. And we always work together on town halls and vaccines and beyond, so I'm very thankful. Shifa, Angie, thank you for starting, and so many things that you've done, again, on the front lines of domestic violence as well, starting a mobile home out of the Champion Masjid, working together. Thank you. Again, the Rupani Foundation, the early childhood programs we're working on in Harris County, that is energizing, and I'm grateful that they're in our community centers, serving our community. So thank you so much. We have the Hazma Masjid food distribution. Shamir, Amira, thank you so much. It's a bedrock in our Mission Bend area. The Islamic Society of Greater Houston, Mr. Yelton, Ibrahim, just you work hand in hand in our Community Assistance Division. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Outreach in the barrio, Noor, I appreciate how you come to Bayland. You're supporting so many of our families, especially those who live in the apartment complexes in the Sharpstown, Gulfton area. Thank you. Imam Dr. Ali, the support at Mercy Community Center Masjid in Gulfton. Please raise your hand as I'm talking. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Gulfton has my heart. It is our modern day Ellis Island, and I appreciate everything you do. Our mosque, Katie Masjid, Jemshed and Sheikh Dr. Elahad, are you here? Thank you for all the support, being there in times of need, and I know there's so many ways we've worked together. In particular, I'm energized by the sidewalks we have been able to build in partnership so that our families can walk together safely to the masjid. Harris County Sheriff's Office Deputy Mohammed Ahmad, can we thank you for your service? Can you stand, please? Thank you for your service, and all law enforcement officers who have joined us here today. We appreciate your sacrifice and your service to our community, and thank you for representing us. Thank you so very much. The Arab Community Center, Dr. Walid, thank you for all you do. I appreciate you being here. Can we please give it up? So there's so many more examples I could give how we have been working together to build safe spaces. Whether that is literally working on roads together, building sidewalks, safe spaces in terms of our addressing domestic violence, which is such a deep issue in our community, building safe spaces in terms of vaccines so that those in our schools and in our homes can be kept safe. There's so much that we have done together, and we're just getting started. This is just the first 2 years that we have been working together. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I could spend all my time saying thank you to each and every one of you. But I want to take a moment. The reason this is so important to me is, again, faith and family are everything to me. I believe that our equality is intertwined. I believe that our futures are intertwined. I believe that the respect and dignity that each of us was inherently born with is deeply intertwined. And each year that we have gathered, there have been challenges around the world and here at home. And so many of us in our conversations and working together have spoken of the pain, of the fear, of the hurt that so many in our communities are facing. And especially with changes at the federal level, as we celebrate Ramadan together, we all must continue in this reflection, and we all must recommit. We must recommit to the unity that I believe Harris County represents. We must recommit that together here in Harris County, we will choose love, not hate. That together we will refuse to disrespect, dehumanize, and discriminate against anybody here in Harris County, but rather we will celebrate, we will uplift, we will rejoice all of our communities. Together we must recommit. And I'm so troubled because we get calls that over 100 kids in one school are absent because they're afraid to go to school in our beloved Gulfton that many of us serve. That in our health clinics, many are afraid to come get the services they need. And right now, in the middle of a measles outbreak, we need our families to feel safe to show up. Others we have heard are afraid. They were already afraid to call sometimes law enforcement to begin with, but now with this additional fear. And together we must recommit that in Harris County, we together will keep creating safe spaces where we can uplift each other, empower each other. Spaces where we are choosing love, not hate, that we are choosing justice over injustice, that we are choosing peace over violence, that we here in Harris County will not erode rights. On the contrary, we want to be advancing rights. Here in Harris County, know that we will not back down as long as the people give me the opportunity to serve, because we are on the right side of history. We are on the right side of justice. And in this time of difficulty, we must choose hope, not despair. And in this room of solidarity, of community, you give me hope. You give me hope because I know that together we will keep advancing opportunity and justice. Together we will make sure that love triumphs. That together here in Harris County we will choose respect and dignity and hope. And so I hope that tonight and every night we can reflect and recommit to the unity that I believe Harris County represents. We have a lot of work to do at home. And if we do the work together, I believe all of our families will have a brighter future. So thank you. Thank you for spending your evening here with us. We look forward to many, many more years of service, of friendship, of bright futures. And I thank you. Thank you for your partnership. So again, Rufi, Natarajan, thank you. To all of my Precinct 4 team, can you please raise your hands? I love you dearly. Love you, love you. We're all on the Harris County team, and Fort Bend, because we have some Fort Bend. All this goes to, I apply everything I just said to Fort Bend too. Fort Bend is on the right side of justice, but truly, as a community, let us recommit to unity, because all of our futures are intertwined, and I believe our futures are bright. So tonight and always, My heart is with you. I stand in solidarity proudly, and I'm honored to represent this community. And I wish you and your families a blessed Ramadan, Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Briones. That was very inspiring. So just some housekeeping. It's almost time, and at 6:20, I believe it's 6:20. In a minute, I'm going to bring up Dr. Huck. He's going to do a closing prayer for us. But so you know that when, and then there will be an azan, which we will play by, it'll be streamed. Once that is over, we would like to let you know that all of you that are fasting, there is a masjid that is located to the left over here, and we have all the volunteers standing in the back. They can walk you over there. And for those of you that are not fasting, the buffet line will be open, and we welcome you to join us for what is going to be really a feast. So with that, Dr. Huck, will you join me up here, please?
Let's pray to God for all his blessings and for the powers that he has given us to fast in this holy month of Ramadan. O Allah, O God, we fasted for you. We believed in you. We trusted you. And we are going to break our fast on the food that you have provided us. We are thankful for all the blessings that you have given us. And you have blessed us with this blessed month of Ramadan. You have blessed us that much health that we could fast according to your orders and according to the instructions given by Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Ameen. Thank you.